Well, hi everybody, welcome to Hey Dad, my reaction channel. This is Dad, and today I'll be reviewing for my sons an old ballad called Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin, a song that I've heard many times, so this is a review and not a reaction. It's for Father's Day for my sons. So if you're a subscriber, thank you for stopping back by. If you're new to the channel and you just found me, thank you for stopping in. Please consider subscribing to the channel and hit like down below. That helps me out. And leave me a comment. I do enjoy reading your comments, and they do help me get better. Harry Chapin, if you don't know, was a folk singer in the 70s and wrote a lot of storytelling ballads, many of which were longer than radio airplay allowed. Long songs like Taxi and so forth. But Cats in the Cradle was a commercial song, commercial success. And I got to see Harry sing it at least twice in concert in person, once in an arena and once in a small venue. And I'm thinking a third time, but I don't recall where that was. So Harry was quite a stage presence with his band, with Big John Wallace on the bass and his band. And so this live version of the song is important because Harry was quite a live performer. It starts with an interview with his wife and son, I believe. I think I've seen that before. And that's important on Father's Day because you're not a father alone. You're a father with your spouse and with your children. So it's good to hear what they have to say about Harry before we get into the song. Let's start with that. Let's start with the interviews. Thank you on Father's Day, by the way, to my sons for their best wishes. I got this new U.S. Air Force t-shirt with an F-16 on it. I was in an F-16 unit. And so thank you for thinking about me on Father's Day. I like this t-shirt. All right, let's get into the interviews with Harry's wife and son, and then we'll get to the song. Here we go.
Home from the road, he would show me new stuff that he'd been working on, and I'd show him some things that I'd been doing. And I showed him the poem for Cats in the Cradle, and he kind of pushed it aside, and he took more interest in a couple of other things that I'd been working on. And then after Joshua was born, he grabbed it and said, "Hey, I got to put music to this." So it had been written a lot earlier, but it really hit him after Joshua was born.
It's a big day in the life of a father when your child is born. More than one child are born. It's a big day in the life of a grandfather when your grandchild is born. So I got to take my granddaughter to church today, and that was a blessing on Father's Day. So here's his son.
Didn't happen to me so often it would almost be awkward, but I'm used to it now because people actually want to, because I look like my dad too, they'll want to have contact with me, put their arm on my shoulder and really try and communicate to me how it healed my relationship with their father, or it got them closer to someone they had fallen away from. It's always amazing to me because people just
all right, here we go.
Before they even get words out, I can see a shakiness and emotion in their eyes and the way they just kind of want to close the space between me and them when I haven't even met them before, which is a tribute to my dad.
My child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking before I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, "I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you." Cats in the cradle and a silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, son. You know we'll have a good time then.
All right, let's pause there. So when I first heard these songs from Harry, when I saw him sing them live in concert, I was the young man he's speaking about in the song. The young man who says, "I'm going to be like my dad." My dad was the first one in his family to go off to college, and then I followed his footsteps going off to college myself. And I wanted to be like my dad. My dad was one of the kindest men I ever met, and still to this day. And so I want to be like your dad. But in that first verse, the young father, was happy to have his child born. Is a busy man though, and he's traveling, planes to catch, bills to pay, and that does consume the life of a young father. And it's hard to make time for your child, even when that's maybe the most important thing you can do, is to make time for your child. But it gets away from you. And he says, we're going to have a good time then. Well, when does then come? If you're on a plane. And I had that experience of traveling 90% in my early career. And I was on planes and trains and automobiles all around the country and all around the world. So when I first heard this song, I was a young college student who didn't yet relate to being a dad. Later in life, I heard this song again, and I was that dad traveling and busy and paying bills. And did I spend enough time with him? No. No. Could I have that time back? I don't know. No, you can't have that time back. So do it while it's that time. All right, let's keep going.
My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad. Come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay. And they walked away, but his smile never dimmed and said, I'm gonna be like him. Yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and a silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when. We'll get together then, son. You know we'll have a good time then.
So again, time gets away. We're going to have a good time then, but when is then? When is it ever then? And that verse starts with, my child turned 10 just the other day. And I remember when my youngest son turned 10, and I was traveling constantly, and I was on the road, and I came home one time from a 2-week trip I'd been on, and I had my roll-around suitcase, and I came up the stairs, and my son passed me by on the stairs as I was coming into the house, and he looked at me, and this is a painful story to tell. He looked at me and he said, "Oh, I almost forgot I had a dad." And wow, knife right in the heart. Did I intend for him to forget that he had a dad? No. Was I traveling way too much for my work? Yes, I was. And that burden was on my wife to care for them. And I made a change in careers right after he said that. That got my attention. And I made a change in the careers, and I got off the road 90%. And I toned that way down to maybe 20% in a different career. You have to listen to them. What are they telling you? And, my child, I'm going to be like him. Your child will emulate you for good or for bad. If you're doing the right thing, you'll emulate that. If you're doing the wrong thing, you'll emulate that. So you always have to be aware that there's little eyes watching you and learning from you and will emulate you. I'm going to be like you, Dad. Well, what does like Dad mean? Is that good or is that bad? Let's get to the last verse and see how that plays out.
Well, he came from college just the other day. So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and a silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when. We'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then.
So eventually I was that dad as well. Time goes by, and eventually I was that dad as well. And you get to the age where they're 17, 18, and school comes and goes, and they're busy, and they have friends, and eventually they can drive, borrow the car keys and drive away from you. And you might be wanting to spend time with them, but they have plans and they have friends. And that time you could have spent with them earlier in their life is maybe getting away from you. And I was that dad watching that happen as well. So it's a cycle of life, right? Dads go through this. You have their attention for a while they're young. You have less of their attention when they're older and they have friends and hobbies and activities at work. And then they're off. Can I borrow the car keys? Yeah. And then they're off. So eventually I related to that aspect of the song as well as time goes by. I've heard this song many times through the decades.
Well, I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. Said I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said I'd love to, Dad, if I could find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids have the flu, but it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as he hung up the phone, it occurred to me he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and a silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then.
Well done, Harry. And Harry was killed in a car crash when he was 38 years old, and then that ballad went silent. Okay, so this is the ultimate Father's Day song, and it makes me think not just of my boys and my relationship with them over time, as they grew up and I grew in my career and differently busy in different aspects. Also, it makes me think of my dad and my father-in-law, two great men who were kind and accomplished and busy, but they poured so much into me that I wasn't ready to accept yet. And boy, do I wish I had time to go back and make time for them in the amount they deserved. Two great men who taught me a lot, who poured a lot into me, who modeled kindness and generosity for me. And did I have time for them? Not as much. New job's a hassle and the kids have the flu. It's been sure nice talking to you. This is a universal song for dads, both as you think about a relationship with your dad, if you had one, and not everyone had one, and your relationship with your kids, and not everyone has kids, but it is a universal thought we can relate to. The time you have is now. Be present in the moment. Jobs come and go. Bills come and go. Your children are your life, your legacy, along with your spouse. So, what a great lesson. A lesson by what not to do. We'll have a great time then. Well, when is then ever going to happen? Make time for it to be then. I'm going to get to spend time with both sons today and my granddaughter and make time happen today. So, lesson learned over time from when I was a young college student, heard this song. High school student first. I heard it in high school when I was in the 70s. College student, late 70s. Growing up, listening to him again. Then I became a dad. Now I'm a granddad. So, you hear the song differently in the different ages of your life, right? It's the same song. Harry's not making it again. Harry passed away. So it's the same song, but I'm different. I'm different in the different stages of my life, and it means something different to me in all those stages: high school student, college student, young working man, mid-career, and now near the end of my career. So, universal lesson: set boundaries for your family, make time for your family. We're gonna have a good time. Then is now. Then is now. We're gonna have a good time now. Today. Not then. Today. What do you think of this song? Hey Dad, Family. Do you relate to this song? What stage of life are you in as you listen to this song? Did you have a good dad? Did you have a dad at all? How does this song make you think about dads or moms? Play this song on Mother's Day as well. I'm a dad. I play it on Father's Day. What do you think? How does this song make you think about dads? And how does it make you think about your responsibility to whatever little eyes are watching you and need your attention now, not then? Great Father's Day message. And a great song, right? Harry played great guitar. Big John Wallace in there playing. He's got a great band. Boy, do I remember Harry Chapin in concert. What a stage presence he had. What a great balladeer he was. Listening to all of his great songs. So I miss Harry. But he left us this song in a time capsule for us to have life lessons on parenthood. That's my granddaughter waking up for a nap, and I need to be present for her now as well. So it's not all about me recording. It's about being present for her and what she needs in this moment. So I'm going to sign off. Leave me a comment. What do you think of this song? Is it meaningful to you, or is it just a pop song? Leave me a comment. How meaningful is it to you? Did you listen to Harry Chapin, or are you just discovering him? And if you're just discovering him, there's many more songs to listen to from Harry Chapin. So for my sons, I love you. I'm here for you. We got years to go still. Peace out. This is Dad out, and I'll see you on the next song.